Gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
Gordon cut through. They go to Barrett. He'll turn and shoot for the win.
Bingo! Yes, now. And if I had more than 10 seconds to think about like a quote or something, like I feel like there's a famous quote out there talking about having the same conversation over and over again every year. And yeah, so that's like I'm sure there's a quote out there somewhere. If someone wants to look that up, they can. But that's exactly how I feel whenever I see the tweets saying that James Harden is better all time than Dwayne Wade. That's exactly what I feel like I hear every single year, even though the same argument happens again, and then we see James Harden in the playoffs every year. So that's how I'm feeling right now.
I don't feel like I've ever had that conversation.
Maybe not had the conversation, but I've seen it take at the very least every year. Like,
really?
No, you haven't.
I feel like Ori says he's late to the party. I feel like I wasn't invited to it. So please tell me, what is this? We've got lots to talk about. What is this?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a hot topic going on Twitter, but we're at the time of year. It's late July now, so free agency is over. And there hasn't been like a big trade yet that has happened in a few weeks. So usually we go into all-time talks, which I love those talks. But however, one of those talks always seems to be at the end of the day, like, oh, I'm taking 2019 version of James Harden over any version of D Wade or even James Harden, prime James Harden clears prime D Wade. So that's a conversation that I see. I feel like I see every offseason.
Let me ask a question. And it makes sense that August is that month that we have these conversations. When someone says that, do you ever clarify, like, what do you mean you're taking, 2019 James Harden over any Dwayne Wade, or, peak this over peak that? Like, because James Harden in the regular season is phenomenal. But I'm not taking any James Harden any year over playoff D Wade.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Doesn't that matter?
Absolutely. It should, at the very least.
And so, okay, so let's have this conversation. It sounds like we're all going to agree that it's D Wade. So they're saying I'm taking James Harden. Do they say why?
They say it's because he's a significantly better scorer and playmaker. And that though D Wade is better on defense, his lack of a jump shot is what holds him back. And the one argument that I think is valid, not necessarily in Harden's case, but more so against D Wade's case, is that as great as LeBron and D Wade were as a duo, they weren't necessarily the most complementary duo in the world because both of them were pretty ball dominant without being great shooters.
Well, yeah, and it showed that first year.
Yes,
right? Like they did not understand how to win.
Speaking of which.
Oh, speaking of which, not winning? Yeah. Hey, speaking of not winning. Oh, his camera's not on. He's not allowed to come on. You lose. Or sorry, I don't know why I made the sound effect myself. Yeah. I didn't have the soundboard for like one day, and all of a sudden I forgot how to use it. Okay, so by no means is okay. Could you make the argument? Like, since you've seen it and I haven't seen it, can you make the argument? Here's why I'm taking. Is it just that because of the lack of a jump shot?
I think it's lack of a jump shot. I think it's the fact that I think D Wade finished second in MVP voting in 2009. I don't know if he ever finished outside the top three. Outside of that, and Harden has like 4 or 5 finishes inside the top 2. It's the fact that Harden at age 35 is putting together an All-NBA caliber season, leading his team to this, and D Wade was kind of a shell of himself by this time.
Okay,
so yeah.
Hold on, let me pause you there for a second.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
That is an all-time conversation.
Yes, correct.
So you can't say, "Oh, I'm taking 2019 over any version of D Wade because he's better at 35." Like you can't. Those
okay, yeah, true, yeah.
So they're saying they're taking the offense, but isn't James Harden ball dominant, like at his best?
Well, he's ball dominant, but he's also
so successful in Houston because ball was in his hands, and it was either 7 seconds or left. Shoot a three or get a layup / dunk.
So I think people were more okay with Harden having being a little more dominant than D Wade was because he was both the better playmaker and the better jump shooter as well.
Okay, and we don't care about defense at all.
I guess they don't. I sure do.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, like, Dwayne Wade is the greatest shot blocking guard ever.
Yeah. Well, like I brought it up every week since then, but like like I'm sure, I know that Ori saw it, and I know that I mentioned it to Fluent. I had Aaron from Possible Chairs on the show a couple weeks ago. So he has. So I think we have D Wade like around the same area. I think like we both have him. I think like it's something like I have him at 23, he has him at 25, something like that. Where we disagree the most is Harden. I have him at 35, he has him at 26. Which like I understand, like if you're looking at just the regular season standpoint, like his talents and numbers, and his argument is that Harden wasn't as bad in the playoffs. He just happened to run into those Warriors teams a couple of times, which is true. But however, outside of those 2 seasons where like he was truly outmatched by like the Steph KD Warriors, we've just seen it over and over and over again that he's just been straight up bad in elimination games. Like not even just his one, he's just been a bad player in elimination games the past decade.
Listen, the way that when I work through a player, and as you know, this is why I wait until they've like are inactive. Like I don't rank active players in all-time lists, but even when I look at them, what I do is I look at what they did in the regular season. I look at what they did in the playoffs. If there is a lift in the playoffs from regular season, they get a bump. If they stay fairly consistent, great. If there's a drop, like Wilt scoring, as an example, Wilt Chamberlain's scoring goes from 30 a game to 22 a game. That is a huge negative. So when I go to rank him, I'm like, sorry, you can't drop almost 10 points a game from regular season to playoffs and expect me to be like, no, he's still great. And so I look at those playoff performances, and if they and I weigh them, right? Some are good, some are bad. And Harden has when they needed him the most, has not shown up more than he has shown up. And that's not to say don't give him credit for showing up. You absolutely do. But if this isn't baseball, I was at a baseball tournament all weekend, hence the little bit of a extra color this evening that you're seeing, which makes my teeth look a little whiter, I feel. We made it to the finals and lost. But
tough.
Fluent Jr. had phenomenal. He now I'm going to go off on a tangent. I think he hit 625 for over the 5 games with more stolen bases and more runs scored than anybody else on his team. So shout out to Fluent Jr. and hit 2 deep balls over the center fielder's head for that age is actually one of them. I actually yelled at him because he shouldn't have swung at because it was like here. And he's like, I like those high fastballs. I'm like, but no. And he's like, but look, now I can't argue with him. So where was I going? Oh yeah. So I gotta look at kind of sorry, I said it's not baseball. That's how it triggered me to be like, if I succeed 30, you know what they call a baseball player who hits 300?
Very good. All-star.
A Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Yeah, Hall of Famer. Yeah, Hall of Famer.
A Hall of Famer. That's not. I'm sorry, that's not good enough, right? Like you can't have 7 failures and 3 successes and be like, oh, you're great. Just you can, but I'm not going to put you over someone who didn't have that. So
like, and I agree with that. Like 95% of the time,
there's always exceptions.
Yeah. So like the thing is like when people, because you're right about like the whole like rating someone lower if they are a playoff dropper. Being a playoff dropper only means so much. Like people say like they have Jimmy Butler ahead of James Harden all the time because he's a playoff riser where Harden's a playoff dropper. But Harden is just so much better in the regular season.
Yeah, but that's one. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, Butler might be a little better in the playoffs, which I don't know if he is. I just think that he was in the East and ran into worse teams. But I might take Harden over Butler in the playoffs. I just think that like again the gap is too big and like Butler is just not as good in the regular season, but he looks better on resume because he's playing better than he in the playoffs than he did.
And that's what I'm saying is I won't look at just one. Right? Yes. Like I think if you're just going regular season, you're probably picking James Harden over Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're only doing playoffs, you might pick Jimmy Butler over James Harden, but you got to look at them all collectively. And with that, collectively, we bring in Jalen.
Ayo.
Crazy Carter. That should be your name, Jalen. He's gonna say something crazy, Carter.
I mean, we're just educating the world, man. The world needs a lot of more educated people. So
I thought what the world needs now is love, sweet love. No.
That too. You can never go wrong with a little more love.
Yeah.
We're talking about a bunch of stuff, but we started off with it's the time of the year where we're having this Dwayne Wade versus James Harden conversation. I didn't know that was a thing. Did you know that was a thing?
There's a lot of conversations people have these days. I think there's an obsession with realizing that today's players' skill sets are a lot more. I don't even want to say better, but pretty. I think players' skill sets today are a lot prettier than they were from players in the past, and that just kind of I think gives the idea of being better to a lot of people. So James Harden versus D Wade has been a conversation for a couple years now, ever since really he had his MVP, that run where he had his MVP, and probably should have won another one, but didn't. And he was setting isolation scoring records. And people tend to forget, just like, at Fluent, since you're a lot older too, you probably realize people forget a lot of the greats of the 80s.
Whoa.
I'm just saying you're a little older. So, there's people in the 80s and 90s. That, I'm just saying, how it is. As time goes on, people just forget. People just forget. You know what I mean? And I think Dwayne Wade, a lot of people just forget his peak. A lot of people, I think, now remember Dwayne Wade playing with LeBron. And that's the Dwayne Wade they remember.
Right.
While those years before.
And let's be honest, and not the good one. They remember the 14. They don't remember 11.
Right. Yep.
They remember 14 and after, and they're like,
I mean, to me, Dwayne Wade, after that first year with LeBron, his knees were cooked. Like you saw the fall off. Like the knees were slowly kind of degenerating.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you only know 14 Wade and Bulls Wade, Cavs Wade, you're like, nah.
Yeah. Not to be like a troublemaker here, but are we even sure that James Harden is the fourth best shooting guard? Like,
no.
I mean, I feel like there's quite a few guys right in that conversation that have just as well a stake.
The problem is it depends who you consider a shooting guard. Right? Because I think we all go, and we'll get to Kobe in a minute, but we all go like Jordan Kobe's the easy 1-2, right? And then Wade typically gets 3, but even that for me is a conversation after 1-2. And here's why.
Yeah.
Is Wade, Harden, West, Iverson, Curry, like there's a number of 2s that I'm like, I don't like, because there's a bunch of combo guards that you gotta decide where they fit in. Like technically, because I don't
you don't want to put Curry in that number 2 conversation. Because then everyone's going to be Kobe versus Curry.
He's clearly 3.
I mean, I
have Steph Curry. Because I have him as a shooting guard. I have him as the, if I were to rank him, which I don't rank.
Good save. I was going to call you out.
Yeah, if I were, like if he retired today, I would have him as the 3rd greatest shooting guard or the 2nd greatest point guard. So, like, I don't care what you have him classified as. That's where he is for me. So, if you say he's a point guard, great. He's the 2nd best one. If he's a shooting guard, I think he's the 3rd best one.
That's a spicy take to some people, though. Some people have that Curry-Kobe conversation. I mean, as much clickbait as it seems to be, that they usually are put side by side, I feel like, in most lists, where people either consider Curry such like a transcendent offensive player that the two-way ability of Kobe doesn't matter as much, or people just think that, Kobe has that two-way ability and it kind of eliminates what Curry does.
So since why the Kobe hate is that the main topic of the show, I'm going to ask you to put a pin in that because I got the top 10 reasons why that's happening. And then we can we'll have that conversation. I promise. I want to go. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so I do want to hop back on Ori's question about do we know that if James Harden is the 4th best shooting guard of all time? If we're assuming each position is the consensus opinion, so Curry's a point guard, Jerry West is a point guard, AI is a shooting guard. If we're assuming that's where the consensus is, I think Harden is is the 4th best shooting guard of all time. Like as far as it goes for leading a team, yes. But however,
come on, you have Allen Iverson as a shooting guard, and you have Harden over AI.
Correct.
As far easy.
Yes.
Don't say easy.
That's easy. Respect to Allen Iverson, but he's not in the conversation.
Hold on. He didn't say skill set, scoring. He said leading a team. Let's remember.
I'm doing everything. I'm just doing it as a shooting guard.
Allen Iverson took a significantly worse team than almost anybody ever.
That team is so underrated, though. That team is so underrated.
Hold on, but he still, when we're saying leading a team, he led one of the worst teams ever to the finals.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a thing with Allen Iverson, though. Why everyone saw Allen Iverson?
It's one of the worst teams ever. Yes, one of the worst teams ever.
Can we talk about Allen Iverson without bringing up that 1 year and see how people talk about Allen Iverson? There's no way that one
yeah.
year is carrying all that weight.
If you talk to players, if you talk to players about Allen Iverson, they have him significantly higher.
Well, players are full of shit. We already know that. So it's
But players love a guy who's 5'11".
They agree, except when you agree with them. Except when you agree with them. And then it's like, oh, look how smart he's an NBA player.
I'm pretty sure Paul Pierce is the greatest pure scorer of all time. So
you can't. It doesn't count when you're talking about yourself.
oh, fair enough. They
Um,
Pierce had all those combos.
So anyway,
Yes.
so like, but if you're doing a draft, like say if you have like 10 people, and I was literally doing this earlier. I don't know if James Harden is going to be the fourth shooting guard taken. As a matter of fact, I know he's not going to be the fourth shooting guard taken because, like, as far as it goes for fitting of the other players, yes, I'm taking Reggie Miller over James Harden. Yes, I'm taking Ray Allen over James Harden.
Yeah.
For like fitting in with other stars, I'm taking those guys over him.
I get it.
But
if you're putting together a team that you want to win, he's not going to be the fourth shooting guard off the table.
Correct.
And that I agree.
But like if to win a championship, yes. But like if you need a guy to win 50 games, I'm taking James Harden over, or to like carry a team, and I'm taking James Harden over all those guys. Or even like if we want to get I'll give Harden credit here because he did indeed lead a very good, like not great Rockets team to 65 wins. I don't think that team had any business winning 65 wins, and hell.
That team was an injury away from making the finals.
And if you want to believe that, like I don't know if I do or not, but like let's say Chris Paul stays healthy, yes, there is a very real chance that they win because they had like at end of game 5 they had all the momentum until Chris Paul got hurt. So yes, there is a very good chance that we're discussing James Harden very differently if that doesn't happen.
But it's when you bring up regular season wins, that's the goes back to that playoff conversation where it's like, right. It's nice, but I know when I see a team that has won 60 plus games, specifically 60 plus games, I do dive deeper into what was going on that season, right? Like when I see a team win 60 games and I know that they got 10 wins on against, two teams that had 20 and 62 records. I'm not holding you into as high regard as someone who didn't do that and got 60 wins. That's all I'm saying is there's 60 wins is amazing. It's incredible. But, and then, I don't want to get this into a whole debate about shooting guards, but I don't know that I don't have AI. I don't know. I think I might have James Harden like 6th.
Like
all of you.
Are we sure James Harden's above Clyde Drexler?
Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, exactly. Clyde Drexler.
Clyde, that's another one.
Clyde to me, right after.
If you're like you said, if you're picking a team, I'm picking Clyde over Harden to win.
It's tough.
There's a difference between another number 2 versus number 1, though. Like I think a player who's going to be a number 1 guy who you can count on getting to the playoffs, making a deep run, or winning a championship is going to carry far more value than a great number 2. Like we can all agree.
Clyde was the number 1 player on his Portland Trailblazer team that went to 2 finals in 3 years, and people were comparing him up until the finals with Jordan until Jordan destroyed them in the finals.
Yep,
that was a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not scoring 36 a night.
There's also
different era, different
time. Because I definitely think that those Rockets teams were better than those Blazers teams, but that's a hypothetical we're speaking at this point.
Yeah.
Another one we're forgetting about is George Iceman. I think he's sandwiched right between AI and Clyde, in my opinion. Like as person goes, that's what I think.
It's funny with shooting guards. It's one of the, I want to say weakest.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
One of the weakest.
What's up, Junior?
And I was telling them about your baseball weekend. Where's your big medal?
But he had a Nick Kurtz weekend. You see what he did? Yeah, 6 for 6, 4 home runs in 1 game. Come on.
Are you kidding? He went 6 for 6.
It was the greatest individual game in baseball history.
No, I didn't. I was at a
Oakland A's youngster. 6 for 6, 4 home runs.
6 for 6 with 4 home runs in 1 game.
Rookie.
Game.
He's a rookie. Yeah.
He's 22 years old.
8 RBI. Yeah, really the singular greatest offensive game in MLB history. There's no one.
That's insane. I need to catch up. I was not. I was focused, unfortunately, on the little league.
I hear you.
Understandable.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yep.
I was impressed that he. Okay. He got six hits in 5 games. Six.
Hey, that's solid too. Like I said, he was batting 620 for a weekend series. Take that.
Now I'm going to tell him it was no good. But like after when I go through the list, right, of shooting guards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like then 10 is what, like Manu?
Yeah, that's where the drop off starts.
No slouch, but
right after Reggie Miller and Ray Allen, right?
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people think Manu Ginobili's better than Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. Like Manu again.
You can make a case for Reggie. I don't think you can make a case for Ray if you watched him on Seattle and the Bucks.
Yeah, that Ray
because we saw Boston, Miami just sitting there shooting threes. Sonic Buck Ray Allen was Jesus Shuttlesworth was a problem.
2001 Ray Allen, like led us team to the conference finals. Yeah, it was filthy.
But Manu led Argentina to beat Team USA. But
that team was who was on that Team USA?
Wait, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury.
Wasn't there a guy? Didn't he look
way mellow?
I was going to say, didn't he look just like the guy in your profile picture when you didn't have your camera on earlier?
Who Larry Brown disrespecting the bench. You start.
Yeah, sure. LeBron.
Vince Carter. I'm saying to beat a team with Tim Duncan, Vince Carter was on that team. Was Vince on that team?
Well, speaking of the devil, we haven't even mentioned Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
I'm just saying, Manu. That's impressive to me.
Because they're not on the list.
Well, that's sure, but I feel like those are probably the next guys up, right after the Ray Allen.
And you know why we don't talk about them? Which leads me to what he was saying before. Those guys are skill and talent, not production.
Yeah.
Right? Like when he says players today are more skilled, I think I agree. They're more skilled, they're more athletic, they're more talented. But then I add the caveat, they have a different set of skills. Because a lot of players today can't do what the other players did then. Right? Could those players do what they do now? Same thing. They'd have to learn something new. So I think in both cases they could learn it, but the skill set today is different. And the problem is, and this is why I struggle, the problem is they want everybody to do everything. And that is, if you've ever heard the term jack of all trades, master of none, it's actually worse because having a 7-foot center who can dribble and shoot and pass and still be expected to rebound, defend, block shots, like they can't do it all at a high level. So something is there has to be a balance, and I think it hurts how good someone is at something, right? Like the centers today cannot rebound and block shots and box out and do this. They have no post moves in comparison to those others. Those others can't shoot, can't handle the ball like the guys today. Now, is there exceptions on both sides? Of course. I'm talking in generality. So I think that's the thing. Because I got into this thing and I shouldn't have. It's my fault. I always get stuck with these dummies. When I see the profile pic being a picture, I should know never to get into a conversation about that player that's in their profile pic. And he's like, Kyrie Irving is a better point guard than Magic Johnson. Look at how much more skill he had. He could and I'm like, dude, if they played 1-on-1, they don't. They play 5-on-5. Well, if at the end of the fourth quarter they go 1-on-1, Kyrie wouldn't be guarding Magic because Magic would kill him in the post. Magic wouldn't be guarding Kyrie because he would kill him on the perimeter. And then he says, look at this shot and to win the game for the Cavs, and he shows them shooting the 3 over Curry. And I'm like, okay, look at Magic with this running little baby hook over 3 Celtics in the finals. I'm taking the guy who's going over McHale, Parrish, and Bird than the guy who's shooting over a minus defender in Steph Curry, respectfully. It's just like, again, I should have known.
The 1v1 thing is
it was 12 years before I was born. Don't worry, I'm not offended.
Okay, you're not okay. You're a Celtics guy. Sorry, what's that, Jalen?
That's the 1v1 thing is stupid too. I mean, even on he was on the broadcasting for a 1v1 TNT thing when Michael Beasley and Lance was playing. He joined the commenting crew and he was talking about 1v1. Even he says he wouldn't play Beasley 1v1 because after a certain point, the size disadvantage just impacts the game too much. Like a guy he realized he's 6'1", 6'2". Beasley 6'7". Like there's no playing 1-on-1.
They used to say Michael Beasley used to beat LeBron James.
Michael Beasley's the greatest 1v1 player of all time. I don't care anyone says.
When he said the 1v1 thing, I said, so I guess Michael Beasley's the GOAT because because he's cooking LeBron on a daily.
I literally talking about. I think Orlando Shaq is beating every player 1v1 because I think guys smaller than him.
100%.
Anything, and he had at his peak, he still run, dribble the ball, things. So Orlando Shaq always says the best 1v1 player. You're just not going to beat him.
If Shaq ever gets on offense, 3 dribble,
it's over.
Like he's just turning his back, and you're done. You're done.
The only caveat is there's a rule where every player has to make at least 1 3. Then if he just can't hit a 3, he loses. Some people do that in 1v1, but you have to hit at least 1 3.
That's not fair. Yeah. Although I don't care. That's all I would do is hit 3s.
Right? It's just to protect the smaller guys.
Did you ever see the video of me and Jay? Unfortunately, I have slides. I didn't have running shoes on.
I saw that.
And so I was actually really impressed as he drove. I almost blocked it, and he just got up the layup. And then what did I do? I just pump fake, shot a 3. Like that's it.
We gotta do what you do best, no doubt.
That's all I do. Before we get to the main topic of Mr. Bryant, there's been some controversy, I guess, and I want your take. If I learn how to do this, I don't know why I can't do this anymore. Oh yes, I click over here. Sorry, they changed. Have you noticed they changed the buttons on?
I have. It's awful.
It's driving me nuts. Yeah. So I want to start with this one, and I'll tell you why. So listen carefully, and I'll say "aha" when it's the moment that I want you guys to what I'm talking about. So let's just hear this real quick.
To cornerback, they said that they like the way you backpedaled out of that goddamn. Oh, they said you was out here moonwalking better than Michael Jackson on them, man. Damn, Jeff, you can't say that about the king, man. I know your page started flickering, didn't it? Page started flickering, the algorithm started messing up. Hey, Club 520 is about to be Club 260 because your ass would have been gold. Boy, hey, Jeff, hey, you better stop it. Hey, there's a few people that you can't talk about. LeBron James, Bronny James. That's it. Nobody else got that kind of power. You see your daddy called. Yeah, they got to him. Boy, you better buy your LeBron jersey, man, and better sit back and be Team LeBron like the rest of us.
No. Team LeBron like the rest of us. So we'll get to what he was talking about in a second, because I'm going to show that in a second. But I focus. There was a long clip to show you the notice he said Team LeBron like the rest of us. Does that help or hurt the whole clutch conglomerate mafia getting to these old players to change their tune and start talking very positively about one LeBron James and very negatively about everybody else? No,
he's just joking around. You know, Jeff T was joking around. But hey, as someone who's jokes around a lot and has been told you can't joke around about everything, apparently LeBron got those same rules too. You know, can't be joking around with Go James. But I just think Gilbert plays with the narrative. I think Gilbert understands it, and he plays up to it. And like you said, I mean, look at it. He was laughing the whole time. You know, having a good time with it. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, it's a joke, just like what Jeff Teague said. Was a good joke. Someone's so good.
You think Jeff Teague? Okay, well, what did Jeff Teague say? So let's hit that up. He was on steroids, bro. He wasn't on steroids, by the way. Allegedly, HGH, PEDs, EPO, not steroids. Allegedly. Teague said on Club 520 podcast, they started testing for HGH and he had to sit out. Said his back was hurting, then came back skinny.
I mean, you know, if I don't take creatine for 3-4 weeks, you can come back skinny. There's a lot of ways you can manipulate your body to lower weight because of injuries. And like you said, if he did take anything, it would be EPO, something similar to what Lance Armstrong took, where he doesn't get tired as much, especially in those days. You know, he would never get tired playing 48 minutes a game in some of those playoff situations. Not like steroids, you know, HGH getting ballooned up muscles. Again, look, I think he was so good. He made a joke, and clearly that joke for a lot of people are going to ride with it.
Do you honestly believe that Jeff Teague said that? Did you watch Jeff say it?
Yeah, I saw that clip of him in his podcast.
And you looked at him and said, "Oh, this guy's." You knew right away he was joking.
Yeah, I don't think any player would come out in Jeff Teague's platform would come out and say it. Even if he truly believed that, you can't say that without saying it in a joking manner.
Oh, he did say allegedly.
But he like that's not even the type of thing that you say in jest. Like there was something behind that, and I can't be told otherwise. Like there was a reason. Like that was a lot of specificity there. That was a very specific situation that he came by and pointed out. Like it'd be one thing if you just kind of made like some vague, like, oh, he's on HGH, haha, we all knew it kind of thing. But to like point out a very specific situation like that, I don't know. That kind of felt weird to me.
Now, I'm not listen, I'm not asking if LeBron is on the juice. What I'm asking is, Chris, do you believe Jeff Teague was joking?
Jeff Teague is one of the best podcast storytellers in the league. As far as it goes for older players, I don't know if he was. I don't know whether he was joking or not. I get deep down, I feel like he is, but I also feel like he might just be trying to stir up shit. That's what I feel like he's saying. But I don't know. I don't know if joke.
Clips and views.
Yeah. Like I don't know if joke wasn't his intention though.
Okay, I don't think he was joking. I don't think he was joking. I think, however, I think he said it like you guys are saying. I think he said it for clicks and views without caring whether it was true or not. And then when he got clearly the call, and let me tell you firsthand, if you say this, you will get the call, because we got the call and had to erase 2 minutes of conversation on Player's Choice when someone brought up the evidence that would suggest that it's worth investigating. And that's all I've ever said is there's too much smoke for people to say there isn't smoke. So I don't think Jeff was joking. I think he said it, like you said, to get clicks and views, whether it was true or not. And then he got slapped on the wrist and went, okay, I was just kidding. Right? Like, you don't, because if you're just kidding, then you don't have to go back and say I was just kidding. You don't. You just keep going. I was just kidding.
I think a call was made for sure. A call was made from
he didn't feel bad because of the all the clicks and views that he tried to get and got, and then went, oh my bad, and then said I was just kidding. No, someone called and said, hey, because here's the thing. Here's my problem. And I'll break it down for you guys quickly. One, you have a guy who's playing greater and at a higher level than we've ever seen any athlete play for this long ever in the history of all sports. Now, that's incredible. It could be ridiculous genetics. It could be. But you have to ask the question. Like, if anyone who says, even you LeBron fans who go, that's just how great LeBron is. No, you still have to.
I get it. Like, I get why people think he's on it. Yeah, I get why people.
Is this possible? And then when you ask the question, is it possible? You go, well, okay, what's the smoke, right? If there's fire, what's the smoke? Well, the smoke is, right, we know that there was an investigation. We know that there has been rumors of people saying, Mr. Paul was buying for his client LJ, and look, it's a fired receptionist. So how credible is that? Not very. They did the investigation, and here's where I'm saying you got to investigate deeper, because have you seen his manager guy, the fat dude, who he was getting steroids for, or he was getting PEDs, I should say, not steroids, because let's be clear, it's not steroids. It's absolutely not steroids. Okay, it's either HGH and or some EPO or some concoction of the two. But his trainer, that fat guy, he was the one. Like, when you see this fat guy, like, have you seen the picture? His fat guy standing next to him, and then LeBron all jacked up, and you're like, which one do you think's right? It's not the fat guy. So, and then you had the guy, the MMA fighter, right? Sony, I think, come out and say, hey, we have the same drug guy. There was there's
LeBron's not even a jack though. Like, the pictures just look like he's not like.
Neither was Lance Armstrong.
That's what I'm saying. So the EPO thing I get, the fact he's not getting tired during that time at that weight. That's what I understand. The whole steroids.
No, that's right. Steroids. No, steroids is like so like.
Yeah, I have friends who are on it, for bodybuilding purposes. Like, you can tell when a guy's on like flushed skin.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But then you get the thing with the tumors, the loss of hair, he did go away. Like, he was playing horrible when he returned to the Cavs, and then he went away to retreat for 2 weeks in Miami. Came back and he was like, oh, he's amazing again.
And also, nothing. There's no drug in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like that's not how HGH works, or any type of drug. I mean EPO, yes, but yeah,
EPO
EPO can work like in a
EPO
couple days. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but everything else takes time.
And then my biggest thing is, I don't care if it's LeBron James or anybody else. I think every single athlete pushes the limits of what they're allowed and not allowed to do because that's what they should do. Right? You want to go right up to that line without crossing it because you want to be the best that you can be. Now, do you sometimes cross it? That's the question. And does anyone want to catch you? And that's my biggest issue. No one wants to catch them. And I'll quickly say why. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jalen. And then I'll tell you.
He's too big for it. I don't think like at his level of fame and at his level of notoriety at the time, I don't think it's possible for him to take it and not be caught.
I disagree.
I think the opposite actually.
I believe he's too big to be caught. You know how many times? When did they catch Lance Armstrong?
They kind of, several years after when
after he was done. You know how many times he was allegedly tested during his racing?
Yeah, I know he was protected because the sport needed him, and and he was
really.
Yeah,
and how do you think they feel about the face of the league for the past 20 years? You don't think they need him?
Well, look, I will say basketball has more stars than cycling.
The most popular athlete in all of basketball?
No doubt. But I do again.
American athlete, probably.
Lance Armstrong was cycling, with whole comeback story. Like he cycling needed him more than basketball needed LeBron or any player.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh no, because I think basketball you can make so many stars. In cycling, there's never be a star like Lance.
I disagree. And here's the thing. Not you in particular, but other LeBron fans that I unfortunately interact with will tell you the league made Jordan retire for a year and a half because he was gambling, and then he came back because they wanted to cover it up because they didn't want their golden boy caught gambling. And somehow you think they want to catch LeBron using drugs? Like, just think about the stupidity of that.
I hear you, but for him to, get the drugs, take the drugs, there's so many people. There's a group of people that would know.
No,
for it to not be leaked in 2012 with social media. I think it's a lot easier to hide stuff during Jordan's era.
No one believed it. Someone said, Mr. Paul is coming and getting drugs for LBJ. And everyone went, no, that's no, you can't believe it.
Yeah, but credible, exactly. You got to find it.
Did anyone investigate it? Did anyone investigate it?
I don't know.
No.
Probably, I guess not.
No. The NBA, compared to all the major leagues, I feel like the NBA has been kind of notoriously the weakest when it comes to PEDs anyway.
Do you know their drug testing policy?
Not 100%. No.
Anybody?
No.
I do know that Bobby Portis was suspended for 25 games for taking Tylenol, pretty much. So that's
I think the NBA lives on like these guys are just such super athletes for their whole life. They don't need drugs for them to perform at the level. They're just blessed athletes being that high.
Blind eye potentially.
They will
baseball did it through 1998. Baseball when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were lifting the league up, baseball turned a blind eye, and we all know it. So, who knows?
Baseball, interestingly enough, though, didn't have a rule against those things.
That's true.
And then people were taking them, and then they were like, "Oh no, this is bad." Well, you didn't have a rule against it. Like that's the biggest nonsense I've ever heard. Now, whether you agree or disagree with the players taking it and having an advantage, whatever, but if it's not illegal, who cares? That being said, the NBA's drug policy is the biggest scam in the history of scams. It's worse than taxes. By the way, taxes were only supposed to be to help fund the war, World War I, because it was found to be unconstitutional to tax people. And how does that work out? Yeah. That's why they're always at wars, because now they. But anyway, because Gilbert Arenas will tell you they test 4 times with urine samples and 2 times for blood. And people will say, well, yeah. No, they will randomly test players up to 4 times with urine, which doesn't catch EPO. Oh, hello, darling. Good night. I love you.
Good dad, Fluent.
I am the best when it comes to that. Absolutely, that one I can't get. I can't lose that debate. That being said, up to 4 times for urine, which catches what? Nothing. Urines. Don't even do urine samples because they don't catch anything. Just get rid of it. And then up to, sorry, I use the term up to because people understand it, and people will argue because it doesn't say up to. if you actually read the rulebook, it says they can be randomly tested 2 times for blood, which I've confirmed means 0, once, or twice. Okay. But I use the term up to because people understand up to. When I say can, they don't, their brain shuts off. That means they get up to 2, so 0, 1, or 2 blood tests per year. Do they always test for everything? No. Do they tell us what they test for? No. Do they tell us the results? No. So why is there a drug test?
Yeah, just to say they have one.
Just to check off a box.
Damian Lillard scores 70 points or whatever and says, was it Lillard or Bradley Beal? No, Lillard.
Booker? Lillard?
No, Lillard had this big game and he's like, oh yeah, I was drug tested. Maybe it was 60 points. He's like, oh yeah, it was the first time I was drug tested. They took my blood, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying is they don't want you to know. So there's always, because they don't want to know, and because you can't know, there will always be a speculation, because the people who applaud him will say there's no chance he's doing anything wrong, but that's not true because you can't know that. And the other people on the other side will say, well, look at how great he's been for this long. He must be doing something because that's unnatural. And neither one has any shred of evidence because no one wants to know. There's no way you'll ever know unless something like Lance Armstrong, where someone just says, I've had enough, and they sell him out. Because,
yeah, it would have to be someone close in the circle. Like if Rich Paul decides to sell him out or something.
That's right. If Rich Paul goes all Dame Dash on him, then we will know the truth. I hope you all got that reference because it was
Shout out Dame Dash, man. But a smart guy, just an idiot mouth. I really think he could have been a lot. Yeah, that already cost him.
He could have been taken care of forever, like Memphis Bleak. So let me, just out of curiosity, Chris, what do you think if you were a betting man and you were making the odds, would you say probably doing something, no chance he's doing anything?
LeBron?
Yeah. We're not holding you to it. We're not saying he is. We're just saying if you had to make,
I would say likely yes. Not probably. I would say likely yes.
Likely yes.
Yeah.
Ori?
I have to be 100% on that same page. I would say likely yes as well. Just given the probabilities and like you said, the sheer unnaturalness of performing the way he's performed, and compare him to other players that have done similar things. I don't want to be the guy that says it. I would never say it without evidence. But as a betting man,
you're just putting odds. Yeah.
Right. Just odds.
You're not guaranteeing anything. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if something came out after he retired. I'll just say that much.
Jalen?
As a betting man, LeBron just arguably the greatest athlete of all time. He's a freak of nature. God blessed him to be that guy. Clutch, give me a call, man. LeBron is innocent. That's what I gotta say. LeBron
took you 10 seconds to say that. Took you 10 seconds. You had to glaze him for a whole 10 seconds.
LeBron is innocent. It's all hard work, dedication, and blessed with the greatest genetics we've ever seen in an athlete.
Okay, so let me ask you this. His mom and Bernard King have a baby. Had a baby. It's a boy. Listen, let me ask you this though. If, in case someone tries to clip this, if it's found out that he was EPO, HGH, whatever, would you still have him as your GOAT?
Oh, I mean, I'd be devastated. I'd have to take a week off work, hit up the cottage, cigars, wine in hand, and just be me in the woods, man. I don't know.
Okay, so no, he would not be your GOAT anymore.
I don't think he can. No. Even though it's weird because I still hold Barry Bonds in such high acclaim, and I think he's the GOAT.
I hold Barry Bonds in high acclaim because even on steroids, you still have to hit the ball. Like you can go juice up as much as you want. It doesn't mean you're going to hit the ball. However, I do knock him because he was on the juice. So he doesn't get GOAT status for me because of that, although he's still impressive. I'd rather just let them say, just go do whatever the hell you want and let's see what you can do. But like same thing, I can't give Ben Johnson
that's just
being the fastest 100-meter runner ever until Usain Bolt because he got caught cheating, and sorry, you lose it. He still had to train and do a million other things to be that fast. And yes, everybody else in that 100-meter race was doing it too, but he's the one who got caught. So sorry.
You're just setting an awful, like, and I understand what you're saying. Like, you should let athletes do what they want, but like, I just think you're setting an awful precedent for like what athletes can become, like post career, because like people talk about like taking steroids, like made baseball better in the 90s. Yes, that's why like when baseball is at its best, but for like a lot of those athletes, like their bodies just totally break down after they're done taking those steroids. So
but yes. Chris, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, Jalen, he wouldn't be the GOAT anymore for you. Of
course not, yeah, of course not.
You guys don't have him as the GOAT. So just quickly, because I want to get to, and Hollywood Herm, we're going to get to Kobe in a minute.
I'd still have him at 2, I think.
I was going to say, how far down would he fall on your rankings?
I don't think he'd fall, honestly. I don't think so. No.
I think I agree with that same sentiment because honestly, it would probably depend more on like if there was a thorough investigation as to like how many people were doing this sort of thing, because it'd be tough to believe that he was the only one doing it.
He's the only one. Where does he go on your list?
Ugh. He's the only one that gets caught for something of this nature.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'd put him at 5th. Actually, just so I can say that Larry Bird's better than him all the time. Actually, that's what I'd say. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, well, it's funny you mentioned that because I was exactly gonna say, like somebody like Bird, I feel like all of a sudden gets kind of pressed up because of something like that. So
you'd have to say Jordan, Kobe, Bird, Duncan, if they're all clean and he wasn't.
Right.
Jordan had his allegations too when he suddenly added some muscle, even though he was just training hard, you know that. But he had these same allegations too. Yeah,
but again, and if it came out that Jordan was taking, that's why I said allegations. If Jordan came out and said they caught him and they said, oh, he was doing steroids all through the 90s, then he would drop 100%.
Of course, yeah. I mean, basketball, yeah.
But it's been 30 years. I doubt that's going to come out now.
He is a loyal crew, man. He got a loyal crew, just like LeBron.
You know, that's why I say even the gambling thing, like it's been 30 years. If that was true, like we would have heard it by now. Like 2000, okay. 2010, okay, no problem. 2025, come on.
I mean, I just feel like the people who would have known the full story, like a David Stern, a lot of them are gone by now. Right? They're just on the other side.
It's just like why we'll never know the truth that Wilt didn't actually score 100.
It also took 30 years for people to realize that they may have cooked the books for MJ as well. So that's another.
Well, but we all know that was a lie.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's easy to go back and make up fake stories about 30 years ago. Where we're going with the last segment of the show. Okay, so you have him. So you never actually said how far would he drop, Jalen?
Damn, I don't even know. I wouldn't even put him on a list.
Oh,
like I mean, again, I think in basketball because it's just a different nature. You know, being on HH and stuff, he wouldn't be on. It's just like in Olympic sprinting. Like when you talk about the great sprinters, I don't put guys who have been.
So Ben Johnson's not on any list, even though he ran like a 9.
Yeah, he ran, and it's crazy. You say Bull one's interesting too, because like after his time, I think the next 4 fastest guys, they've all been caught for cheating.
Oh wow,
yeah, which is pretty wild.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Johan Blake, which is pretty wild. Then you just don't put them on the list. Yeah.
I like that.
The fastest woman in the world would be, the fastest woman in the world would be 425th. Let's not have them race against each other. Where would you? How far would you drop them on your list, or are you like Jalen?
Given what Jalen said, I think this is appropriate. You know what? Just give it an asterisk and keep him off the list. I mean, if he's the only guy that was cheating, then he has to be treated that way, right? You have to treat him like a cheater. But
if it was like baseball and like 50 guys come out,
I still think that Jose Altuve is the best second baseman of the past 25 years. So like that's another tough one.
Best second baseman even though he got 25 years.
Yeah. It's either him, Robinson Cano, or Chase Utley. It's one of those 3 guys.
Okay. Second base is a real weak position.
It's very weak. Yes.
I'm not mad at it.
Well, like at the same,
where's Dirty Dusty?
My guy Roberto.
I had to think about who that was for a second. I'm like, right. Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, Pedroia, come on, man.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
Couple seasons.
All right. I find it in like I said, I think it's going to be an interesting conversation we have over the next 5 or so years, especially the longer he plays.
Yeah.
Right. Like it is insane. Like just think about it. Chill and I had this conversation on Fluent and Chill on Tuesday. Going into his 23rd season, would anyone argue with me that if I said LeBron James is still a top 15 player in the league?
No.
I won't agree.
I think they're
People
Fluent.
would say top 10, yeah, but I'm just saying. I said
No,
15 just to be like
I
all
think
NBA still, right?
you know what? I think there's a better argument for him being inside the top 10 than outside the top 15 for sure. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
My point was I used 15 because that's all NBA, right?
Yes.
And I said, so you're telling me year 23, dude is still top 15, and no one's going to argue with that. Like that's crazy.
It does defy logic. It does defy logic.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. It defies every human.
That's why it is for me. That's why I'm like, when people say it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying he is or isn't, but I would, like Ori said, I wouldn't be surprised. Like 23 years. Like who could do anything that well for 23 years? Like no one's lived for 23 years at that high of a level.
I'm not even gonna lie. At 43, if you like taking EPO and still being at this level is super impressive. Like 99% of 43-year-olds taking EPO, like you're still not,
no one's saying otherwise. Yeah,
in the league.
I will say, if I don't know how much you guys know about EPO, but EPO, like it's called the fountain of youth, right? Like the whole thing about it is you're going to perform like you're 10 years younger. So it actually it's still impressive, sure. But it's also like, but yeah, he's doing it like he's 34. So yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, because when you're younger, I mean, endurance and stamina is a big thing. Like when you're older, you can still play in spurts, as they say, right? But it does increase your stamina.
Was he doing it when he was younger? Like that's the thing. Normally, people like even if you use Barry Bonds, like he was great, right? And then he was like, he got to the point where it's like, well, now I still want to be great. And then you see him get big and bulky.
You saw such a physical, change with him, right?
100%.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like
his skull got like a million times bigger. Like it's
he looked like, remember that episode of The Simpsons when Ken Griffey and his big swollen head?
Yeah.
But the thing was that you saw the transfer, but it wasn't like he was a bad player and then he did it, right? So LeBron was great, and then it's like, okay, was there a point where he's like, hey, I found this way to stay great for longer? And that's the question, and who wouldn't? You're the greatest player in the world, and someone says, hey, no one's going to catch us because we're so advanced. And it's like, you got to think about it. Especially like I said, because where people say when it started, it wasn't Miami, it wasn't Cleveland. It was when he went back to Cleveland and wasn't doing great. And they were like, hey, let's pick you up a notch. Again, I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. All right. Here, as of late, ever since that jerk Chilltown Hoops,
That's not ridiculous.
Shout out Chill.
ever since he said he's got Curry at 11. A what?
Kobe. Yeah.
Kobe.
Sorry, what did I say?
Curry.
Yes,
Kobe.
I was reading where this person said Curry is better than Kobe, which no. Ever since he told us that he was 11, Shaq on our show when he was on with us said blasphemous. Stole the line from Stephen A. Smith. I don't know what has happened in the last week or month or so, but there has been so much hate and disrespect to Kobe Bryant, which it's unheard of. So what I did was I scoured the interwebs and I pulled up the top 10, let's not say the only, the top 10 reasons Kobe Bryant is being hated on all of a sudden. And so I want you guys, I'm just going to go through the list and we'll have let's not go too long, but I'll give a quick conversation about each. So here's in reverse order maybe? Sure, here's number 10. Number 10, I feel like I wish I had a little card. Like, do you guys remember David Letterman?
Yeah. We used to do the list.
There you go. I don't even have a glass breaking. I need that sound effect. Number 10 reason why Kobe is being hated on all of a sudden. Kobe's tragic passing. He can't respond to criticism or correct false narratives. His absence makes it easier for hot takes and hate to go unchecked. Is it because Kobe has passed that people are hating on him all of a sudden because he's not doing details and out in the public eye? Have we forgotten about him?
So like I thought I went through it in my head where I said like no, like, and I thought logically like no, of course not. Like people can say what they want whenever, he's not going to respond. But then I thought, oh wait, no, if I'm going through someone's head illogically, which is what most of these people are like that are chronically online would saying, maybe like I'm not like I feel like I can't give a clear answer for that because like I'm not really sure. So I would say maybe not for that one.
Anybody else before I go to number 9?
No, I don't think it's death that has anything to do with it. I think we were having this conversation.
I feel like the death is actually, and I love Kobe clearly. I feel like his death has had the opposite. I think a lot of the love.
I actually agree with that. Like, yeah, now you say it, like I feel like most people,
yeah. All right, number 9. Kobe fans can be extreme. Kobe fans often go too far, claiming he's better than Jordan, better than LeBron, better than anyone has ever laced up a pair of sneakers. And everybody else combined, the over-the-top praise leads to backlash against Kobe from non-Kobe fans.
That now that is something I feel like I see palpably all the time on TikTok. It's not necessarily that people are hating per se, as much as I feel like he gets put into conversations that maybe he doesn't necessarily belong in. You know, when people start putting him in those top 3 conversations, I feel like immediately people start to kind of backlash and go, wait a second, aren't you kind of pushing him a little bit further because maybe his iconography or something of that nature? But that's the way that I viewed that always. Is I feel like maybe because he gets put in certain conversations, people tend to backlash because they're like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah, and I would say Mamba mentality is not an argument.
If I may, is Jalen your real name?
No, it's not my LinkedIn. No, Jalen Carr's a stage name for my singing name. I thought you knew this.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's my singing name. Are you crazy? That's wild.
Oh my god.
I give you the LinkedIn name in the background. I'm not, you know what I mean?
There's 0% chance his name is Jalen. Legend fanboy thinks your name is Jarbinder.
No, not quite.
I think he's
don't tell me your name actually isn't Sports Fluent, by the way.
No, my name is Sports Fluent.
Okay, good, thank God. Yeah, like I thought so. Yeah,
I'm done after that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And Fluent Junior is actually what I named him.
It's funny. Actually, I have a couple cousins actually named Jalen, but yeah, no.
No, you don't.
100%. Yeah, you know, my cousins these days are named like Zayden, Zyrese, Ashton, Avon, Jalen. It's a different generation. Like they're naming all these kids like more westernized names. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like obviously our parents,
my generation sucks with giving names. Like it's
we're going to go off on a tangent here. What's your background?
Sri Lankan.
Sri Lankan, and they named it's Jalen.
No, there's Jalen, there's Ashton, Avon, Zyrese, Zayden, like all, and they're all the younger kids. They're all like 10 and below now. It's like all my aunts or cousins named their kids more westernized names versus obviously our names would be more Sri Lankan Tamil based, just because their parents named us, right? A different time. I mean, I think that's very common now. People coming from other countries, you immigrate, and like the first generation, people are born here, they tend to name their kids more.
I had a sales guy once whose name was, well, we called him Peter Sober, but his name was actually Sober Peter. And he said it's after some famous Sri Lankan soccer player. Are you familiar with this guy?
No, there's a famous Sri Lankan soccer player.
Maybe it was cricket.
Cricket. I was going to say, yeah. No, there's definitely no cricket player named Peter. Unless, I mean, there are some like Christian Sri Lankans. I mean, yeah, so they could have some names like that, but usually
learn something new every day. All right, so you were saying the Mamba mentality, what?
Mamba mentality is not an argument. Like it's cool to have, like you have a great work ethic, but I care about what you do on the floor. You know what I mean? Like bringing up Mamba mentality. He's like,
don't think Mamba mentality is a thing?
No, I mean, like, no, it's definitely a thing. But I'm saying what you do on the basketball court and your product on the court is more value than your
it's
mentality
also
off the court. Like there's people who don't hit the gym all the time and are still good. Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that like sometimes
it's not always a positive. That is true.
Going to the gym at 5 a.m. every day is great. Don't get me wrong, great workout, that's great. But a guy like Jokic who doesn't do that is still phenomenal on the floor. Don't care.
Well, I use it in the sense that the Mamba stuff sometimes backfires in the sense that, and no one will ever convince me any different, and I will argue tooth and nail, and I will win. There wasn't a smarter basketball player than Kobe Bryant. Not one ever in the history of basketball. No one understands the game, angles, footwork. No one. The difference, however, and then people, well, why was he inefficient? Why did he do this? Why did he do that? That's the Mamba mentality that told him
ego.
I'm not passing the ball to Smush Parker. I'm shooting over 4 guys. I don't care that the right play is Smush for an open layup because he'll probably miss it. And that's where it kind of backfires. So that being said,
you guys should know what my other stage name option was. It was going to be Denzel.
What was your stage name option?
I mean, I had Denzel. The last thing we're going to go with. It was going to be Denzel.
Yeah,
we're thinking R&B singing names. We're like,
there's only one Denzel. There's only one Denzel.
Yeah. No one should ever be named Denzel ever again.
No. Yeah.
I do have a guy who named his kids. He's Jewish. Named his kids Jordan and Kobe. I'm like, listen, you're a big fan, dude, but
that's a lot. I would name a dog LeBron. Maybe I give my kid the middle name LeBron. Had a son.
You should name your
dog LeBron. No, don't name your actual kid LeBron. Name your dog LeBron.
If I had a daughter, I want to name her Isabella. I think that's a really nice name.
Oh, nice. That is a nice name.
Just off.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Squirrel. Okay, number 8. Social media, and let me explain. Social media never saw peak Kobe. So there's a whole generation that didn't grow up watching Kobe in real time. They judge him from highlights, box scores, out of context clips, not the full picture. This could be said about anybody born or played pre-2000 or even
pre-2008, really.
And maybe, yeah.
10, yeah.
Because most of the guys are like 15 years old. Do you believe that is part of it? Is that, you know, as we move on in time, that plumber generation goes from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s. Like I think the plumbers are up to 2010 right now.
Hey, but plumbers are strong word. I don't know if that'll be used for the 2010s.
Well, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah. I do think. I mean, yeah. This goes back to the whole argument of every generation has their own goal list, right? The more time passes from previous GOATs, the more likely that they get forgotten or disrespected. It's just the nature of the thing, right? And that happens in every sport, every debate in life, whether it's like even like, you know, with musicians, right? In the 60s, 70s, 80s and all that, you know, people think Taylor Swift better than Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even going to argue that.
There is nobody that
thinks that's what I'm saying, but there's a whole generation who literally thinks Taylor Swift is bigger and, you you know, better.
There's nobody that thinks Taylor Swift is better than Michael Jackson.
I'm telling you, there is.
Ask your daughter. I'm sure she thinks that.
I raised my daughter right. She hates Taylor Swift.
Good. Okay, good.
I don't hate Taylor Swift. Shout out Taylor, man. But yeah, I'm just saying every generation, that's just how it goes. So I do think that holds weight. You know,
like there's all these people in the chat saying Curry clears Kobe, but no one can give any reason as to why. We're going to get to that in a minute. You guys must be in that social media age that never saw him play. Anybody else want to comment? Okay. Okay. Let's hold on. I want. Let's pause for a second before we get Curry.
Nice profile picture.
Great profile picture. Curry, 2 MVPs, changed the entire game. Most gravity. Never played with a dominant big man. 1 without KD. Okay, so let's go one by one. Curry, 2 MVPs. So accolades. We're holding accolades. Okay. I hold accolades kind of further down, but you started with them. Okay, so two MVPs to 1. All right. Change the entire game. That is completely false. Most, because I'm assuming you mean 3-point shooting, and that was something that was happening regardless of Curry. Curry and Clay and the Warriors are just the first team to win playing that way, but that was already coming. You could see the writing on the wall. Anyone who's older than 15 knows that. Most gravity. I would strongly disagree with most gravity, but anybody else want to feel free to argue with me about most gravity?
Yeah.
I think that's true. Like
the most gravity. So you think Steph Curry draws more attention than any other player in the history of basketball?
Either him or Shaq. Okay.
He did not draw more attention than Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Like
he draws more attention than I think he definitely draws more attention than Kobe because of his range. Like like the fact that Steph crosses half court and you already had people like doubling him. Yes, I do think he causes more attention.
I see that happen to Kobe too when he went on a streak of 50, 40, 50, 50, 50.
And Steph was better at it. He was more efficient at it. He's a more efficient scorer while being doubled.
He also played in an era where everyone's more efficient. And again with defense,
but like compared to his peers, Steph is more efficient than Kobe. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, relative to era, his plus efficiency is still more than Kobe. But I also think we forget to see like how defenses are played, right? Especially like I was watching the 02 Western Conference Finals. Every time Bruce Bowen was guarding Kobe, he's kicking his leg out every time, either hitting his shin, hitting his thighs, or getting in his landing spot. If you do that to Curry, and we know Curry had bad ankles already, when he was younger, and that type of physicality. And again, I see Tony Allen guard Curry in 2015. Go watch that series. Curry, 2 of those games, he dropped like 33 points. The rest, he had like 22, 23, and was struggling. And those 2 games, Tony Allen got hurt after 5 minutes, which allowed Curry to go off. And the other one, he played 15. I think he got hurt there too. So with Tony Allen, who, again, great defender, I don't think he's a defender of Bruce Bowen and the Spurs the way they get Kobe.
I disagree with that.
Physicality really bothered Steph. And you take Steph today, his shooting coming off the ball screens. One, every time you're running around off ball screens, he's catching the elbow or something to the hip, to the knee or something. And I already know Curry struggles with the physicality. And then you get in his landing space, and refs aren't calling it to Curry. Yeah, see, I think Kobe, and again, I understand why people say the spacing thing with Steph, but I don't think Steph.
People didn't even use the term gravity.
Who created that? I swear, first person I heard say that was Mars.
That I agree with.
Shout out Mars. The first person I ever say that was Mars. I'm gonna give Mars the credit for that.
People didn't even use that term. People didn't even use that term. They literally made it up.
It's a b-ball index term. Like,
but they also made it up to help Curry, because to act like every great scorer doesn't have gravity where they draw the attention of the defense. And Wilt had gravity, Shaq had it, Jordan had it, every great scorer. So I struggle with that one, because you're right. Curry extends further out.
Yes,
because he can shoot from 30 feet.
It's not only that he can shoot from 30 feet. It's that he moves off ball better than anyone I've ever seen.
100%.
So it's those 2 things that makes it infinitely valuable, like a gravity, and that's why he's better than anyone.
I think he has more plays run for him off ball.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily he's better. Like
when someone says the most of something that you can't measure, I struggle with when people say the most of something you can't measure, the most IQ, the most gravity. You can't measure those things. That's why I say, okay,
that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Never played with
Curry struggles Curry struggles to get past his defender. An elite defender, he can't get past him. He struggles. For as great ball handler he is, he really struggles when like that 3-point shot. If that's the only thing he had, or he can't get that 3-point shot off, beating his defender, he struggles. While Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, they go past their guy, have 4 guys collapse on him. You talk about gravity. I've never seen 4 guys collapse on Curry as many times as done to Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
Well, he's not driving as much as those guys.
Yeah, it's different. 100%. It's different.
It's different.
But so that's a different type of gravity, right? Being able to beat your defender, having multiple guys come at you versus 3.
So never played with a dominant big man. Cool. He played
about that. We don't care.
Yeah, Kobe. He played in an era where a dominant big man wasn't needed.
He played in an era. He won when there wasn't any dominant big man.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Fluent, on your keyboard thing, do you have the Mike Tomlin "We do not care" thing?
Do you
do not? I feel like you might. I don't know if you do, but
we do not care.
Yeah.
Actually, mine comes with a little music at the end.
We do not care. We do not care.
Anyways, and one without KD. Okay, and Kobe won without Shaq. Like, so,
yeah.
None of those things that you listed there, none of them explained why you have that person over the other. But anyways, okay. So we move on. Where were we? Number 8 or number 7? Number 7. Number 7.
Yeah.
I think we
Well,
did.
I gotta go.
I don't even know.
Revisionist history. Younger fans and media rewatching old clips spotlights his bad shooting nights and use them to say he was never really a top 5 player, rewriting how we remember him.
I don't think, like, by top 5 player, do they mean like top 5 player like while he was playing, or top 5 player in general? Like in general.
I think they mean all time.
They mean all time. Okay, that makes more sense.
Look, was Kobe known for taking quote unquote bad shots? Yeah, there were times where I think he took shots where he could have found, the open man or better options. Sure, but he made a lot of
Kobe. I understand Kobe's mentality. So there's some things you need to know. Like, people who say he took bad shots, they're not wrong, but also they don't understand the triangle offense. The triangle offense takes efficiency away. Now, hold on, let me go back a step. The triangle offense was built to open up opportunities for centers. So let's get that right out the door first, because most people don't even understand that, right? It wasn't Tex Winters who did it. It was, I'm going to forget his name, but it was like 1947 at Kansas University. Like, this is a super, super old offense, and the triangle was built to give opportunities to the center. What Tex Winters did with it in Chicago was say, here's how we're going to run it. We don't have a dominant big man. So this is right. It's read and react, motion, to try and get the best shot. And what happens when there's 3 seconds left on the clock? Well, just give it to Jordan and he'll figure it out. Much like in LA, just give it to Kobe and he'll figure it out. So go watch the Lakers like I have every single game, and you will see a majority, which only means 51%, but the majority of those bad and inefficient shots were at the end of shot clocks, when it was like, oh, the offense didn't work here, give it to Kobe and let him figure it out. Part 2 of those inefficient shots were, I'm the best player on my team by far. And there was a lot of years. Go look at the, when they have starting lineups of Smush and Luke Walton and Chris Mim, right? Like, these are horrible teams that they put around him. And it's like, me shooting over 3 guys is actually a better option than him shooting a wide open jumper. And you can argue with that all day, but if you look at who was on the court with him, Kwame Brown, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So that added to the inefficiency. Also, he played most of his career in a very different era.
The most defensive era in NBA history.
It was the most defensive era, lowest scoring era up until 2004, when they changed the rules to help your guy LeBron. So I always got to throw those in every once in a while. So that's where I think a lot of that inefficiency comes from. So I don't think it's revisionist history, though, other than there's a lot of narratives. There's reasons that people are trying to knock him, but that's why we get to number 6. Look at this perfect transition. Accusations of ball hogging and locker room drama. Stories of beef with teammates Shaq, Smush, Dwight. His reputation as a ball hog, alpha at all costs, either have fueled negative narratives about his character.
They didn't even mention the fact that his coach quit because of him.
Okay, throw that in there too.
That is a valid criticism. Like that's not narrative. That is a valid criticism of Kobe.
His coach quit because of him. That's a valid, but Magic got his coach fired. LeBron had a coup against one of the.
His coach wasn't. Their coaches weren't Phil freaking Jackson though.
Phil Jackson went and wrote a book about him. That was horrible.
I mean, look, I do think Kobe should take some criticism for the way he handled some things with his teammates. The coach.
I'm just curious, when we say ball hog, what's the definition of ball hog versus ball dominant? Sorry, Jalen, I cut you off. My bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good question. I think ball hog is when you noticeably force the shot up when there's clearly a better shot available for the team.
It's so tough though, because I mean, obviously Kobe was a volume scorer in an era that, volume scoring was going to be less efficient just because of the way that the defensive schemes and things were. So I mean, it's hard to really put that ball, I've always had a hard time putting that label on him, because I think it was always appropriate, like you kind of hinted at, given the team status and the way that kind of the teams were built. I don't necessarily find that he was a ball hog in the same way that you might call someone else the same thing. I don't think it's necessarily an appropriate title for Kobe.
Well, listen, Phil Jackson won 6 chips with a guy who some call a ball hog. So maybe that was just his philosophy. Larry Brown asked Allen Iverson to put up as many shots as he possibly can and let the other 4 guys get rebounds and play defense. Quote unquote. That's what Larry Brown told him to do. And then we get mad that Allen Iverson was inefficient. Like, whose fault? Is it the chicken or the egg?
I mean, yeah, circumstance definitely matter too. For some of these players, like you said, Allen Iverson on that team, no one's going to fault him if you look at the context of the situation.
And that's exactly it. Context is so important.
Yeah.
Can I just stop for a second and ask this question? because this person put this 2 or 3 times. Okay, there's a reason Shaq said he wins 6 with Steph. Okay, all I'm going to ask is this. I'm not going to comment on what you said at all. I'm going to ask you, do you believe everything Shaq says?
I mean, Shaq says he'd win 8 with Kobe if they stayed together. You know what I mean? Like, it's
actually, he said 10.
Yeah, 10, 8, whatever it is.
So I guess that's more than 6, but I guess we're not going to. That goes to I always talk about confirmation bias. You will only use what you want, what you already believe. You'll only use what people say that coincides with what you already believe. Where were we? But yeah, I think to your point, Chris, you are right. He was tough to get along with. He did not like people in general. And I appreciate him for that because I'm the same way. When COVID hit, I was like, awesome.
Yeah,
leave me alone, stay 6 feet away. I love it.
Which is why him and Shaq clashed. They're 2 different people.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, when Shaq's gonna be on the show here in a couple weeks. Not on this show, sorry. Again for his 3rd time. But I'll bring it up, Legend, and ask.
Hey, bring me up. Send the link, Fluent.
No,
we'll talk to Shaq.
We don't want to embarrass our guests. We might open it up and bring people on and let them, but we'll see. Number 5, the finals losses. Game 7 versus the Celtics criticism. Kobe's 2-2 record in the finals without Shaq is used to. No, it's not 2-1. It's 2.
He's 5-2, right?
Yeah,
he lost to the Celtics in 08 and
he lost with Shaq. He lost without Shaq once.
So 04 and 08, yeah.
Yeah. In the finals without Shaq is used to question his solo legacy. Haters point to his 6 of 24 shooting in the 2020 finals game 7 and say he got carried.
I mean, he got carried in 2000. He got hurt too, but I mean, he was a young player there. That championship, when talking about championships in all-time greats, being a number 1 option matters, and he being a great number 2. He was just a good player at the time. He wasn't a great player in 2000.
If we're gonna hold Kobe, and I say this, and I say this about Steph all the time too, which is why like Steph fans drive me crazy as much as Kobe fans do. If we're gonna hold players to all-time great status, then Kobe Bryant did play bad in Game 7 against the Celtics. 6 of 24 is not acceptable, no matter how other way you want to spin it.
In that light, though, I will say, as somebody that watched that game, we all did. I mean, the 15 rebounds were important because his shot wasn't falling, and being Kobe, I think that he knew that he had to affect the game in other ways. So I do appreciate the fact that he still brought it. And 6 for 24, like you said, any way you slice that, that's bad. That's definitely bad. But the 15 rebounds, the affecting the game in other ways, defensively, like I still feel like he brought a superstar level of motor, and I think that that's important.
Number 4 is an interesting one because there's truth to it, but then there's also narrative and a falseness to it, and there's also some context that I think is lacking. So he lived in Shaq's easy for me to say, Shaq's shadow. The he needed Shaq argument still lingers. Even with 2 rings post Shaq, critics call him a sidekick during the three-peat, diminishing his early career success. So I put it to you guys. For those of you that watched, Shaq did all the heavy lifting in the first 3 quarters, and Kobe closed them out. Almost all of those, that three-peat. Also, actually for probably all 5. The expectation that 4th year, 22-year-old Kobe would be better than prime 8th year Shaq, where there's zero context to that. No one says like to think that 22-year-old Kobe would be better than prime Shaq it's asinine.
Yeah, it really comes down to the final performances. Because if you see the Western Conference, finals and semifinals, Kobe played at a level closer to Shaq than he did at the finals. But the thing is with Shaq, you take LeBron or Jordan 2 in 01 and 02, they're playing a quote unquote sidekick role in the sense of you just let Shaq do his thing in that matchup. Like he's going to get 36 or 38 and 16. And Jordan and LeBron are smart enough, Kobe are smart enough to understand that, yeah, he's going to score more points to you for you to win that series. Like it's just his matchup was better. You know, he was just so dominant. Any, you know, common sense player is going to realize Shaq in that series is going to be the best player in the world. And there's no player in NBA history who's going to take that away from him, especially no guard. Right? If you're another big beside him, sure. But I mean, no guard is going to do that.
I just want to say this: if you're really 6'8", you must have hit your head on the door too many times, and you've got CTE. All right, Chris. Anything on that one before I move on to number 3?
Nope.
I mean, look, Jamal was better than 2000 Shaq. I mean, 2000 Kobe, more relevant in the finals, if you could say. But
No,
the other two, no.
you're incorrect.
I'm saying first
number 3. No version. Listen, go back to our first comment. No version of Jamal Murray is better than any Kobe with a torn Achilles is better than Jamal Murray.
now we're getting crazy.
2006, 2007, the no help years. Kobe missing the playoffs, first round exits are used to argue he couldn't carry a team on his own.
I mean, I think that's ridiculous too, because we saw the context of that team. And that's the thing with Curry. Curry's never had to play on a team as bad as that. Right. And the 1 year that he would have, he got hurt. Right. He broke his hand and he got
yeah.
year, right?
Conveniently.
Yeah. It did happen. We saw his hand get broken. But yeah, that would have been the year where it would have been nice to see how Steph plays, you know, in a team that's not kind of optimally built for him, and see what he could have done. But I don't think Steph, with the defensive attention he would have had to deal with in 2006, you know, when his second best player was second best player in 06. I don't want to say Smush Parker, that's his name. I can't remember the name of the second best player on that team. I don't think Curry would have been able to do what Kobe did.
By the way, Jamal Murray averaged 21 and 10 in the finals in 2023, and Kobe averaged 15 and 4 in 2000.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not playing math.
Oh,
you can play basketball. I'm not playing basketball. In 2000, the 05-06 season, that's what you were asking?
Yeah, 05-06. Yeah, when he dropped that 36 a game.
Let's see. Here, I'll give you his. Well, Lamar Odom.
Young Lamar at the time, yeah.
Smush, Kwame, Chris Mim, Devin George, Luke Walton, Brian Cook, Sasha Vujicic, Laron Prophet.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, brutal. Again, a young Lamar Odom, not the Lamar that, you know, came to what he was at the time. You know, what he came to be.
Yeah, Lamar was putting up 14 and whatever, but he was, you know, the third. If your third leading scorer is Smush Parker.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Oh, that's tough.
You've got some issues. All right,
wait, did they lose the first round that series or miss the playoffs?
First round, I think.
First round.
Yeah.
What if you put Nikola Jokic on that team? What happens?
Hey, he might get Smush Parker averaging 20. No,
They go to the finals.
Yeah.
You put Kobe and Jokic. It's Kobe's significantly better than Jamal Murray, and if you put those two together, forget it. Because Jamal Murray, people seem to forget Jamal Murray. That great year, that was a blip in the radar. Go look. He averaged like 5 or 6 more points per game. He did everything better than he'd ever done in his career and ever since. That's why they went on that run. That's why they won. It was the perfect storm of things happening. And he didn't do it before, and he never duplicated it since.
he's been close though. He's a playoff riser. We'll give him that, especially against the Lakers. You see, especially against the Lakers.
100%.
He turns into Kobe against the Lakers. And
listen, and Bryant, Big Country Reeves turned into Hakeem Olajuwon against Shaq. That it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It means nothing.
We do not care.
But you have to look at what they are, and that's just not. That's why Denver's never going to win again. It's because until they upgrade Murray to a real number two, they
got to see it this year though. You see their moves. I mean, I really like their moves.
This year they've made some smart moves.
Very smart.
And next week when we start breaking down the conferences, and we'll go conference by conference, team by team, and start telling you who's going to be the best this year. We can have that conversation. And number 2 is the analytics movement.
Yes.
Modern
analytics
NBA,
hate Kobe.
modern NBA fans and analysts lean on advanced stats, which often don't favor Kobe. His lower efficiency, high volume shooting are seen as outdated in today's data-driven era.
Analytics, they hate Kobe, they hate Isaiah Thomas, they hate Russell Westbrook. They hate there's a couple, they hate AI. But there's a handful of the guys they just don't like.
Some like Russell Westbrook. Some advanced stats.
Some, but like I feel like a lot of them don't though.
Yeah, I hear
A
you.
lot of them don't.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
advanced
that's
metric
definitely
conversation.
true.
Which
Definitely
I know that Fluent is never use advanced metrics ever at a
Yes, I
time.
do.
I think he does. I think like
Or in the
Was
past.
in the past, I feel like you've said like advanced metrics are like only used for certain.
they're
agendas.
flawed. They're flawed. They're just all flawed.
They're flawed 100%. I'm not saying
Exactly.
otherwise. Yeah.
So what I do, you're talking about when I rate players. When I rate players today, of course, in the past we didn't even have advanced metrics until 98, and they were like
That's suspicious. That's weird.
at best back then.
Yeah.
Like they didn't get good until like the last probably 10 or 15 years. But advanced stats are also flawed. But every stat is flawed. Like field goal percentage is a good stat, right? Like it's accurate, but it's flawed because it doesn't tell you where they shot from. And just like advanced stats are good, but even true shooting percentage, people love true shooting percentage. And I'm like, true shooting percentage is still flawed because if I go just think about it, if I go 1 for 1 from the free throw line and I got 1 point, and you go 1 for 1 with a 2-point field goal, what is your true shooting percentage? What is mine? Do you know? Does anyone know?
No.
You go 1
So,
for 1.
Actually, let's go. We all went 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Jalen goes 1 for 1 from 3.
Mhm.
Ori goes 1 for 1 from 2. And Chris goes 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Jalen's true shooting percentage, and this one actually makes mathematical sense, is 150% because he got a 3 and it's 150% more than a 2.
Yep.
And so Ori is 100%. So he's 150% because he got 150% of the points of Ori. So he's 150%. He's 100%. He's got 3 points. He's got 2 points. Why is Chris 113%?
Because it's
Because it's
yeah,
flawed.
like a weird, yeah.
Because
It's the best efficiency measure, but yes, it is still
100%. It's the best efficiency measure we have, but it's flawed. So do I use it? Yes. Do I hold it as the holy grail? No.
Yes.
So when I look at a player, I look at their stats, like their traditional stats.
Mhm.
I look at their advanced stats. Like I do want to know their true shooting percentage, their PER, like all that kind of stuff, right? I even look at, even though we all know how bad this is, defensive box plus minus. I
Win shares,
all that stuff. I look at their accolades. I look at their achievement. I do have like a category filled with, and I weight them all differently as well. But I also have a box for like intangibles, right? Like you can't look at Vince Carter and Kobe Bryant and tell me Vince Carter didn't have all the same, if not better, skill and talent as Kobe, athleticism as Kobe. But there's a gap.
Yeah.
And what's the gap? It's the intangibles. That's what it is, right? Like, so I have a list of those achievements, accolades, and then, I look at all of those: longevity, coachability, durability and longevity, by the way, 2 different things. People don't know that. And so I try to look at all. I think my list is 187 things. I think 187 and they're weighted differently, right? Like I've said this before, if scoring is more important than anything else. Why? Because the team that scores the most points wins the game 100% of the time. And to suggest that scoring is the same as rebounding is ridiculous. So scoring is 1, assist is 2, because assist leads to a score, right? Although it relies on someone else doing it. So it's not, you can't get as much for it. Rebounds and steals, defensive rebounds and steals, I have as equal because they are both change of possession. Blocks are lower. Why? Because a block doesn't necessarily mean it stopped a shot, but it doesn't mean a change of possession. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I say there's just a lot of things that go into it if you want to be fair and truthful. about it. Because
You can be concurrent truthful.
PR. Go ahead, Chris.
To go off topic for just 1 second here. I'm on the everyone literally. I've given this take to everyone. Literally every single person has disagreed with me. I think we should have a separate stat for if you miss, for if you do an Angel Reese / Andre Drummond. If you miss your own rebound, that shouldn't count as an actual rebound. It should count as like a different stat because why are you getting rewarded for doing your own for correcting your own mistake?
Oh, that's Moses Malone used to do that, but he did it. But when Moses Malone did it, he did it with a purpose. So Moses Malone would. In Angels Reese's case, and maybe Drummond's case, they're just missing a shot and they happen to be able to get their own rebound. Moses Malone, if you watch, actually would put it off the rim or the backboard and watch his body. He turns his body. It was about repositioning to get a better position at a better angle to go up. So he actually did it with more thought behind it than some others. But
that's why it's tough. Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough because you're right.
I draw the equivalent to where if you bring your dog to your friend's house and then the dog craps on the floor and then you clean it up and asking for them to say thank you for cleaning it up. That's you're giving that.
PR is an interesting advanced stat. I want to say it used to be like the trendy stat, the hot stat everyone would use talking about players, right? It was it was like the stat that people use when they're like, I know basketball. And then what happened was, right, the top three player PER. Rating, that was like the hot trendy thing. And then and for a long time, the top 3 seasons where it was Will Chamberlain, Michael, and LeBron. Like it was LeBron 08-09, and then Michael, I believe one of the 80 season, and Will Chamberlain. And then what happened? Why I think it really got forgotten is because Jokic and Giannis came along and they took 4 out of the top 5 spots. So once that happened, they're like, oh, wait, hold on. So these guys are just jumping over LeBron, Jordan, Wilt seasons. And then, I mean, obviously there's reasons why it is flawed, but I do think, when you talk about confirmation bias, when a stat doesn't go your way, everyone's like, okay, hold on. Something got to be wrong here if they're putting
It's why you see all these infographics and they'll only have like 5 or 7 things on them. And it's always the ones that favor their player, right?
Yes.
Like shout out to FYF.
In the building.
But like 180 things is overkill. Well, not if I want to be thorough, right? Like if I'm going to say who's the greatest basketball player of all time, how can it be overkill that I look at everything? Like I don't think it's overkill. Like I can understand how you could think it's overkill, but do I do that for every single player every single time? No, because I understand. Watch how simple this is. Chris, who are the top? Is there an argument in your top 2 for point every position?
Every position?
Yeah. Do you have a third that's like controversial?
I guess power forward could be kind of controversial. Like Duncan and Giannis would be my top 2.
Okay, so who are your top 2 point guards of all time?
Giannis.
Magic and Steph.
Which does anyone disagree? I think that's almost everybody's, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Magic and Steph is cool.
Who are your 2 greatest shooting guards of all time?
MJ and Kobe.
I don't think anyone ever disagrees with that. Who are your top 2 small forwards of all time?
LeBron and Bird.
Who are your top 2 power forwards of all time?
Duncan and Giannis.
Okay, and the controversy is there because what? KG,
Dirk, some of the old would say Malone. Yeah, like I'm sure the chill would actually say Malone. Honestly,
no.
I think. You would?
Oh.
Yeah, I think KG's the one.
I think he has Duncan and Giannis. I actually have Duncan and KG, but yes.
Okay, yeah. And then centers, I would go Kareem and Russell.
Okay.
But that has like 5-6 guys you can really.
Yes.
Sure. Center's the deepest one of all.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, for 65 out of the 75-year history, it's been a center-centric. They forced the ball to the center. They wanted a dominant center. So, okay. So with those 2 at each position, those are the only top 10. Those are the only 10 players that could be in the GOAT debate for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the reason that there's the only ones, because if you're not the best at your position, like I narrow it to 5 because I know who I have at best at each position. If you're not the best at your position or the greatest at your position, you can't be the 3rd best shooting guard of all time and be the GOAT. It's impossible.
No question.
That's why I say. So when I say I use that list, I don't use it for all of them. I look at Magic, Curry. I do throw in West, but that's probably because I'm a Laker fan. I have Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Bird, Duncan. I have KG. I'm with you. Although, and again, but you have to remember, I don't don't even do Curry, and I don't, I do LeBron, but I don't do Curry because they're until they retire. And then Kareem and Shaq. And so there you go. Now I can do that because it's so easy to put in the data and into the algorithm and it spits it out. So it's easy. Now there's the intangible ones, which is those are the ones I got to manually put in, but I have them weighted, like I said. So, and it's all formulated. It's already done. So it's easy. Anyways, let's move on to number. I think we all agree analytics, right? Is one major thing.
Absolutely.
But is that okay?
No, I just wanted to highlight what Lamont said in one of his chats where he said there's a difference between being better and greater. I do think those are two different lists, like a top 10 great list and a top 10 best list. And I think it maybe it's a time where having those two as separate lists should become more common.
I never liked that discussion, honestly. Just because best would be. I feel like best is always like interchangeable with most.
To me, best is like Kevin Garnett's better than Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's greater than Garnett.
Right. Yeah. That's it's like who's more talented would be like versus best, like the most talented player.
Ability, It's kind of like best is like you take away, in sense you take away like the accolades,
winning an accolades, pretty much.
Just eye test. Yeah, in a sense, best is almost like eye test only.
Yeah,
but I think with best you only look at like talent and skill. Like you're
maybe some stats too, but
you're taking away most of the stats. You're taking away the accolades. You're taking away their production. You're taking away injuries. You're taking away their bad seasons, right?
Yeah.
You're just saying you're really talking like
at their peak.
If they played one-on-one, and that's I don't want to get into that conversation because no one plays one-on-one. What makes you better to me? That's why I use them interchangeably. What makes you better is how great you were and how great you helped your team be.
Yeah, but I also think it's not even just 1v1. It's like a team optimizing them. There's some players who just didn't have that luxury to be optimized.
Is Tracy McGrady a better player than
that's what I'm saying.
Name the person.
Tracy McGrady is better than Allen Iverson, is better than
and yet he never went into the playoffs where he played more than 7 games.
Sure, and he never got to play with Shaq. You know what I mean? He never got to play with Shaq.
Never had a playoff run where he played more than 7 games. So was he talented? Was he skilled? Sure,
no doubt.
But there's so many other things that go into. So that's why I don't like to have the better conversation. Okay, but no one. The problem is when people try to throw the better conversation into who's the greatest. That's why I just don't even have that conversation because you're screwing up the conversation. And also, side note, we're only ever talking about NBA.
It's true.
We're only ever talking. No one just because
shout out Oscar Schmidt. Shout out some of these.
Shout out Kareem. Because if we're talking the greatest basketball player, it's Kareem. We're not having a debate.
Yeah, those 2 finals MVPs, though. I'm just saying those 2 finals MVPs. Yeah, I look more at his finals performances. Kareem, man. I hear you. The high school, high school,
college.
I get that.
I know you say Russell. I've already told you I don't know. I don't know enough about Russell's high school,
right?
Or college, to be honest. Like I know about Kareem's.
Those are definitely segregated high schools.
What's that?
I mean, those are pre-civil rights. I mean, those were like segregation days when he was in high school. No, Russell
in New York. No. Oh,
segregated high school. Yeah, I mean Russell and Will. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
for sure. Yeah. That's
hold on. Let me I just want to. Sorry, what's that? How when I see my name, I pause. How do you value what a player does great across eras? When across eras, greatness looks different based on rules, pace, play. Because I look at good question. So I personally look at how dominant and how great they were versus their contemporaries based on the style of play and the way they were supposed to play in their era, and that's how I value it. Because you're right, I can't. How great was a 3-point shooter was Pete Maravich? I don't know. He only played half a season, but he shot 60%.
Dang.
Can't use it because it wasn't part of the game. So, but I look at, a Bill Russell. That's a great question. A Bill Russell wasn't a great scorer, was a phenomenal defender, played in the era where they only had 8 and 10 teams. But then I look at the other centers. on those 8 or 10 teams and say, wow, he was going up against a great center 80% of the nights because he was playing against a great almost every night. Whereas now, if I'm looking at a center, how often does he compete against another great center? Once every 10 games, once every 20 games?
We look forward to the Jokic and Embiid matchups when Embiid doesn't sit out.
You got to work those. Embiid's. All right, that was number 2, and then that was analytics. So I think we all agree analytics hate Kobe. So that's where this, the more we get deeper into these advanced analytics, the more hate that's going to come about number Kobe. Number 1, and I believe this is the number one reason. The number one reason why Kobe is getting hate all of a sudden, it's because a certain person, and I won't mention any names,
LeBron James,
is so worried about his legacy.
Crazy.
All his players, all his fandom, all those LeBronaholics will shit on Curry, will poop on Kobe, will make up lies, stories, fake controversies and conspiracies to knock Jordan just to uplift. He has a whole podcast where all he tries to do is rewrite history because he's so worried about his legacy. The ongoing GOAT debate is the number one reason. Kobe's name consistently comes up in debates with Jordan, LeBron, Curry, and fans of those players tear him down to elevate their favorites, especially.
This is your worst one on the list. This is the worst one on the list. I'll tell you, LeBron, we're not worried about Kobe because Kobe's not in the discussion. Jordan, I could get. Nobody's worried about Kobe. Suddenly, I think Steph fans are more worried about Kobe. Steph and Kobe fans can hash that out. LeBron and Kobe, 2 different tiers. When I put players in 2 different tiers. They're not in the same library. They're not in the same world. They're just in 2 different spaces. So you know what I mean. As guess what? Us LeBron fans and Clutch, we're not worried about Kobe. Because that discussion it's just to me again. That's like, to me, comparing Kobe to LeBron, it's like comparing Taylor Swift to Michael Jackson. That's the thing. If you want to compare Kobe to LeBron, you think Taylor Swift is as good as Michael Jackson, and I don't even want to have a conversation with you. There's just no point in me having that conversation with you. I got things to do. I got a place to be. Ain't no wasting time with somebody, with that conversation. And that's just the reality of it.
FIF, that was number 10 on the list. So we've gone through that one already. Chris.
Is it? I hate to say it. I agree with Jalen, honestly.
Let me say, when we say GOAT debate, let's be clear. We're not talking about Kobe and LeBron specifically, but we're saying it's terms of the top 5, top 10 greatest of all time, and the fans of the other people who want to put their player, whoever it may be, ahead of Kobe, will tear down Kobe to elevate their play.
The thing is, that's not Kobe's not an exception to that. That's literally every player. That's literally every player that like in order to prop up their fan base, it's Kobe's their player is going to be they're going to tear down another player.
I don't like that. I don't like
it either, but that's just how it is.
I'm friends with the Johnny. I like GOAT James Kingdom, for example. And I tell him all the time, I loved your content when it was pro LeBron. Look how great LeBron is. Watch these highlights. Look at these stats, because it was amazing. And now it's all about, Jordan with clown makeup on. Jordan can't go left. Jordan this, Jordan that. And I'm like, you're obsessing over the wrong person. It's like Jalen, because Jalen's the single guy who's, the romantic R&B singer, saying, I'm not going to write a song about how much I love you, girl. I'm going to write a song about what a punk your man is. No.
Hey.
No, that's not what you do. You write a song about how much you love her, not what a punk he is. And that's where I feel we've gone to, and Kobe and all of them. Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Curry, all of them get this. Right, by the other fan bases, is that we've gone away from, I'm a fan of Kobe, or I think Kobe's the best. Listen, Kobe's not even my favorite player all time. He's number 2. But it's not it's just I'm not going to praise my guy. I'm going to crap.
That's just how life is, unfortunately. Now, Jalen, you have your politics show on Wednesdays. It's not about talking about talking about the great things that we can accomplish. It's literally all about crapping on the other side, and
is that true?
That's what it's like.
No, I mean, me and Pirate actually have a good, he's more right wing, I'm more left wing, but we actually have a good understanding and actually talk about pros and cons on both sides thing, versus just bashing the other. But no, I do agree with that. There, it's sometimes it is about bashing the other side or making the other side look stupid versus, actually kind of appreciating both and just kind of find the pros and cons of both. You know, you can say
And
players.
Kobe isn't even top 10.
Which again, I disagree with, but it's like 11 is not crazy. When I say this, like
it's not. It's
that's
not.
what I'm saying. When I say players are in tiers, right? Look, and after LeBron and Jordan, that tier for the next few spots it gets really long. And it's like, okay, you have Duncan, Kobe, Shaq, Hakeem, Bird. You can put Steph in there. Who am I missing? Who am I missing?
You missed Magic, I think.
If you want to put Wilt and Russell, you know, let's say it's 8-9 guys. Like if you want to interchange it, like if someone tells me Duncan is better than Kobe, I disagree. I think they're close, but I got Kobe over. Fine. If someone tells me Bird is better than Kobe, I disagree. But it's not the craziest thing to say. If someone says Hakeem is better than Kobe, not the craziest.
I used to have Kobe at 10 on the dot, but then I moved Wilt outside the top 10, so now I have Kobe at 9. If Steph plays at this level for another 3 or 4 years, brings his team to like the conference finals or later, I'm probably gonna put Steph ahead of Kobe. So I can't call someone an idiot for putting him at like 11 if I have him like just like one spot ahead. So
if you have a legit reason, like Chill and I get into this like often, but specifically, obviously we did that episode with Shaq, right? And Shaq lost his mind when Chill when Chill said when he said he had Kobe at 11. And he's like, well, if Jordan is perfection, right? That's the quote. By the way, that ESPN quote, that came from our show, by the way. Thank you, ESPN. They're the only one that actually gave us credit for it. Everybody else just stole it. Damn thieves. That being said, when he's had that where, you know, Kobe's, if Michael Jordan's perfection and Kobe's the next, you know, closest thing to him, then what's Kobe, right? And whether you agree or disagree with that, Phil and I have Kobe in very different spots on our list. However, I make a valid argument why I have him where I have him, and he makes a very valid argument why he has him where he has him. And so neither one is wrong because it's opinion and it's based on what you value and how you look at the game of basketball. So I'm okay with it. I just, when people just say he's out there because, and they don't give a reason or because he sucks, right? You know, because of Colorado, right? Like they say, oh, Karl Malone, garbage because of that girl. And I'm like, no, sorry. You know, OJ Simpson wasn't a good running back because he killed. No, I'm sorry.
I think I affected his marketing.
Yeah,
I think that thing, and then they started pushing LeBron probably earlier than they wanted to at the time.
100%. But I'm just like, you gotta take the non-basketball stuff and your feelings out of it. You have to, and I don't think enough people have the ability to do that.
Agreed. Agreed.
But like even Kobe at 11 for Chill. Do you know why he has him at 11?
Like I said, the gatekeeper.
He's the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Just a minute. You have to be better than Kobe to make it into the club.
Hey, Chill's top 10 secured. It's secure for life. Shout out Chill. I get it.
I think.
I'm just saying, like,
he's too much on big men, on centers. Like I'm redoing.
Wilt. I love the guy, but Wilt is for is inexcusable in my opinion.
I mean, but it's not crazy. Like again, it's not crazy to say. You know what I mean? I still think it's crazy to say. If someone has Wilt at 1, I would say you're not crazy. I disagree. Like really, I just don't think it's crazy.
I think it's crazy.
When Curry,
Wilt and Russell, they 1 or 2. I don't think it's crazy.
I think when Curry retires, because I don't have any active players in my all-time list except for LeBron. When Curry retires, you're going to see a top 10 list that does not include Wilt or Russell for me.
Yeah, like I've always said, they belong in their own little list. It's impossible to fairly rank them. But I mean, when Steph tries, I wonder if Steph will reach like 30,000.
There's no other player. And Chris and I are gonna fight on this. There's no other player in the history of basketball that we give so much love to that was on such a stacked team and his primary responsibility and strength was defense. Name me one other player that we give this much credit to call it top 5 player all time because of their defensive acumen.
Like I said,
there's nobody that's like necessarily top 5 all time, but I would say that we've had players that strictly because of their defensive acumen maybe are, Hall of Famers or ranked higher than.
Well, don't even get me started on the Hall of Fame, buddy.
Fair enough. But I guess I'm alluding to somebody like Ben Wallace, I suppose. Somebody that's a pure.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. He's not in anyone's top 50.
No, that's true enough. But I just wonder, if the next level of what that kind of player could be is probably how people view Russell. Whether it's good, right, or indifferent, I feel like they
imagine having a top 5 player all time who couldn't make a layup.
Well,
Did Bill Russell's lack of layups or his inefficiency, did that ever hurt his team?
Well, no, his team was so stacked he couldn't.
Were they really stacked?
Yeah.
No, they were not.
Sure.
Like as you mentioned,
compared to the other teams, not one player, but if you go up and down the list of who was on the Celtics, and shout out to Red Auerbach, who knew every rule in the book and better than anybody else. His team had significantly more talent on it than any other team in the NBA.
As Skip Bayless would say, but it was just a bunch of white guys. So I wouldn't.
Well, so was the whole league.
Yeah, so was the whole league. Yes, that's
this
true.
show was 3 white guys and 1 smart guy. What are you gonna do? Shout out to the white guys, man. You guys do your thing.
It's funny how like people decide when not to call me a white guy.
Yeah, right.
No,
when are you not a white guy?
We've had this argument before, but like at the end of the day,
I'll tell you a story about when I was in Alabama for a basketball tournament after.
No, I mean, you're not Alabama white. That's different. Alabama white. There's different types of white now.
At the end of the day, Bill Russell is the exception to the rule. Yeah, yes. There is no other player in NBA history to only be able to focus on defense and be okay. That's because no one was ever on Bill Russell's defense. Like the Celtics were like dead last in like offense every single year, and that was okay because they were. I think like Bill Russell led defenses carry like 5 of the 10 top 10 defenses all time, and like 3 of like the 5 top 5.
Do you want to make a Celtics fan crazy when they say their offense was at the? Always tell them they're off. What do you mean? Bill Russell's Celtics offense was always top 10.
It'd be like that.
There's guys, you're not one of them. There's the crazy Celtic fans. Like,
Steph and KD. KD might end up passing Kobe in the all-time scoring list, and he might be like 4th all-time by the time his career's over. And Steph, I think we'll probably get to 30,000. Might be close, but he might get 30,000, be top 10. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the all-time ranking. Because I mean, if Kevin Durant ends up being the 4th leading scorer in NBA history, and Steph Curry 10 with his accolades, I mean, hey, that opens up a whole new.
But it's interesting when you look at, and the reason I brought that up, and for the record, CMB, I don't rank KD because he's still playing. If you look at your own top 10, top 20, whatever list, and you realize like I have guys in here, you're going to say this to yourself. I have guys in here who are strictly offensive players, and you have probably 3 to 5 of them, and you have 1 who is a strictly defensive player. That tells you the greatness of Bill Russell, but it also is like maybe I need to review, and that's all I'm saying. I have a hard time for my guy in the 60s to be in my top 5 who only played defense, who wasn't the best player on his team for all those championships, who did have a stat. Like there's, like I say, I look at the good and the bad. That's the other thing too. How many guys I've talked to that say I will not say anything bad about my guy?
Yeah.
Never. What? No, they all had. You have to look at their negatives because
every player has negatives. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So that's the other thing that I I think with Kobe we look at the negatives more than the pot. Like think about it. All we've talked about today is how bad the Mamba mentality could be, how inefficient he was, taking bad shots, disrespecting his teammates.
That's the question though, right? Why the Kobe hate? We're not talking about the good stuff. We talk, why the Kobe love should be the next episode.
All right, fine. Next episode, Kobe love.
Kobe love. There it is.
I'll wear my jersey.
Sorry, I can't make it.
What? For
Sorry,
Kobe
I can't
love?
make it.
We'll move it to the week after so you can make it. Who ranks higher? Okay. Here, let's do a couple of these. Who ranks higher?
Jokic. That's a close one for me. That's very close.
I have Jokic personally.
Jokic too.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's that. It's not like crazy, but like I'm very, very confident in my answer.
I think. Yeah, I think Giannis is again the 2-way, the physicality of him. I think his game might translate over across eras better too. I think
that's true.
With his physicality, body, his length, size, speed, that kind of things. And again, he's giving you 30 while playing all defense. There's not a lot of guys who can give you 30 a night while playing at an all defensive first team level. Like, that's insane. Very few guys do that. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron didn't even do that at 30. I mean, when he averaged 30, you can make a case he was an all defensive level, but he didn't get it. But that's a very rare thing to do, and I think it just got overlooked because now we're so consumed by spacing and shooting that guess what? When you're 6'11", 250, a pure muscle running up there, you don't need to shoot. Sometimes you don't. You can get your buckets like how Shaq did, or some of these guys who are just physically dominant.
That goes to a couple of things, right? You're not wrong, but that goes to a couple of things though. So Giannis, what makes him great is that physicality and that's athleticism and that strength.
Mm-hmm.
What hurts him is that athleticism and that size and that strength, because to your point, he's not a good shooter. Mm-hmm. And when it comes crunch time in the playoffs and you need someone to score, he's not going to be able to just get out and run and beat everyone down the court and dunk it on them. He's going to need to get a shot.
But I mean, that's a lot of big man. I think big man in general, though. Fourth quarter, a big man needs a guard in the fourth quarter too.
And when the athleticism starts to
wait and
off, right? What does he have to fall back on? Right. Look at every athletic player.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they had something, Jordan developed that fadeaway. Kobe copied that fadeaway. Right. What can you do? LeBron became a 40+ 3-point shooter, even though his athleticism isn't really gone.
Yeah.
But like he developed another aspect to his game. What do you think Giannis can do?
Do the same thing Shaq did. He's going to give you 16 and 10 later on and still be, productive.
And look how we looked at Shaq because of it.
Hey, I still have Shaq in my top 5, my top 3.
If Shaq retired after Miami, we'd hold him in higher regard.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
I think we knock him because of Cleveland, Boston, Phoenix.
I think a lot of people do. I personally don't knock him too much from it, obviously, because I rank him so high. But
yeah, not me. I'm saying
No, I get it. Yeah,
masses. If you what about if they throw your guy in there?
KG, Jokic, man,
I think I have KG sandwiched in between the two of them. I think.
Yep.
You know what? I might try to take a stand. I think KG.
No, I don't actually. Like that was recently. I actually have KG. You know what it is? Like to be exact, I think I have Jokic at 15. I think I have Giannis at 19 and KG at 20. I think those.
I got KG higher than both.
Can I ask you guys a question, and then we're gonna go. But I gotta ask you guys all a question. Oh shit! I didn't realize what time it is.
We're going in.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an hour-long show. How do you guys rank? Because I don't do it, and I don't do it for a very specific reason. How do you rank active players?
It's
like
pretty
all-time list, right? Like, how do you have Jokic, who's had 5 great? I'm not saying he's probably had more, but I'm just saying as an example, 5 great seasons.
He's had 5 MVP caliber seasons.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Is that he's won 3 MVPs. It's that he's been the best player on a championship team. It's that he's
he might be the bad example. Like younger guys like
Tatum. I've Tatum in my top 50. So you're wondering why I would have him. So
Wemby, how do you put these guys into an all-time list?
I don't have Wemby. You know who would actually be the best example out of this is actually Shea, because he's only had technically like 3 first team all NBA caliber seasons, but this past season was one of the probably outside of MJ, Kobe, and probably even outside of like maybe like 1 or 2 others, like one of the best guard seasons that we've seen in a very, very long time. So it's tough. There are certain things I don't have the formula that you do, and you do it to pick and choose in some ways. But basically, at the end of the day, I think about what you accomplish. Sometimes that factors in accolades. Sometimes it just factors in winning and like leading great teams. But at the end of the day, like my mindset is, if a player like Jason Tatum has accomplished more, in a shorter amount of time than a guy like James Worthy or a guy like Paul George, then why would Paul George current actually? So never mind. But then a guy like Alex English or Adrian Dantley, then why would those guys be like what's holding you back from currently ranking Jason Tatum? That's my philosophy.
And do you? I don't. So, but you're saying though too is because a lot of those guys that you mentioned, you're talking about a number 1 option versus It's like even worthy to certain number 2 options on their team.
Yeah.
Most of the number 1 guys should do more, right, than a number 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't rank them. Like to me, honestly, like outside like a top 20 rank, I don't really rank like I don't really care for like. I mean, I can debate players who's better, but I don't really rank people. I rank them 27.
You're not like
I think I'm 38.
Chris has a
No,
top,
yeah.
Hold on. Chris has a top 100
Hey,
all time, and then a top 100 for each position.
hey, Chris, all the power to you. I'm just
Um,
not debating,
it's- yeah.
who I'm putting 47th versus who I'm putting 58th, right? To me, like after the top 20, I just the ranking of that player doesn't really matter to me. So to get to the top
It's a
20,
lot. You have to have a lot of patience in order to make a list.
exactly,
like that.
yeah, sure.
I
And
would
it's like
I want you to bring
I don't.
your list in 2 weeks when you're back, or 3 weeks. I don't know how long
Yeah.
you're gone.
No,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be this week that I was out, but like I was able to make it back in time. So yeah, like no, I'll actually be back next week. Yeah, like I was joking.
When you just didn't want to be here for the Kobe love.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
We bring your list. I think we should go through your list.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
For top 20 on time, I think essentially once a player reaches like 8 to 10 kind of all NBA caliber seasons, has a couple MVPs in there, obviously plays well, deep playoff runs, things of that nature. That's when they kind of enter that conversation. You can have in these all-time discussions. Like I'm not do I think Luka's great and his trajectory is great? Yeah, but he hasn't done enough for me to rank him in any place in top 20. I mean, Jokic to me has done enough. Giannis, Giannis has a decade now essentially of all NBA caliber player, close to it. Jokic has I think 7 or 8, maybe. Like he's getting there, and he's obviously an anomaly for, you can say, having the greatest offensive season, or one of the greatest offensive of all time. So
multiple great offensive.
Yeah, multiple, right? So
point, yeah,
him having a little less adds to it. So
I actually hate Jokic. Because as I'm trying to move these centers out of my top 10, because I'm like, they had it easier. Centers have had it easier throughout the history of the NBA, not just because they're tall, but because offenses and game plans and schemes were set up to benefit them. They basically had a point guard whose job was to bring it up court and give it to the big man. Right, like that. You hear that all the time. Play inside out. It's just like it was so center centric for so long, and I'm like, and we're giving them love, and they had it easier. I'm sorry, it's easier for them to have rebounds. It's easier for them to have like so many blocked shots. And then here's this guy who comes out of nowhere, right? Like second round pick. Like there was a debate when Denver moved Nurkic. Like think back, like it was one or the other that had to go. Like it could have been Jokic that went to Portland with Dame, and it would have been a completely different history of the NBA. And so when I say out of nowhere, I don't think I'm exaggerating. Who's now like greatest offensive center we've ever seen in the history of basketball? It's like, how do you not put this guy once he retires in the top 10 if he keeps doing what he's doing? And it's like, man, now I got to put another one in there. Where am I going to put him? How does he fit? Like, this is why I hate Steph too, because I know once he retires, like he's top 10. He's the greatest shooter of all time. I'm like, shit, where am I going to, like, God damn it. Like I was really comfortable with where my list was going.
You see the Jokic video that was trending today with him crying with the horse races one?
That was hilarious.
He's more passionate about the horse, and that's great. That's hilarious. That's actually so funny to see. Yeah, good for him. He's dominating basketball, but clearly has a passion outside of basketball that he loves more. Clearly, he loves and cares about his horses more. Which is good for him.
All right, we're gonna leave on this one. Stop hating on Kobe. He's one of the greatest players of all time. It's interesting that you said might not be in the top 10, and that's fine. If you have him, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 11, I'm okay. But it's interesting because I don't go crazy if you have him at 11 or 10 or whatever you guys have him at 9. I do go crazy when Jason Williams says, and this is where this line came from, I don't know if he's the top 5 Laker of all time.
Yeah, that's a little nuts. That's a little nuts.
And that's where that line came from. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. That is
ridiculous. Yes.
Agreed.
Not top 5 Lakers. No, second greatest.
Second greatest in my
Yes,
opinion.
easy.
Great argument to be first too.
It's actually funny because I have Magic over Kobe, and not just because Magic is my favorite player. I have Magic over Kobe all time. But as a Laker, I kind of go back and forth because I'm like, Magic only really played like 13 seasons.
That's like
Kobe gave us 2 decades.
Right? Yeah, I give Kobe the edge because 20 years for one team.
For a franchise best player.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I almost never give it to a player who didn't play their entire career for a franchise. with some exceptions when there's just only one that's just leaps
LeBron
and
in Cleveland.
yeah, when there's leaps and bounds better than anyone else who ever played there, like whatever. But longevity in that case matters. But anyways, Wednesday night we got Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep, we should be back. This one should be a good one. A lot to talk about. You know, a lot about in the political world in America and
I
bit of Canada too.
keep saying I want to jump on, and then I keep forgetting, and then you don't invite me. So
I didn't even do what all last week. Pirate had another obligation. We'll be good.
all right. Thursday, or you?
We have a very special episode on Thursday. Very good chance we won't be talking about basketball at all. We are having Clem from Barstool Sports. I don't know if you guys are familiar. He's a big he's a big Knicks, Mets, Giants guy. Thursday, I don't know if you guys know this. Thursday is the trade deadline for the MLB.
Okay.
So it's at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So 8 p.m. we'll be wrapping up the trade deadline. So that's most likely what the hour will take up.
Do you think and I call them because they're not, my team's actually the Dodgers, but do you think my Jays are going to make a move? Because they are on fire.
They should at least. Yeah.
World Series run. If we get another starting pitcher, like an elite starting pitcher.
Good.
Yeah, we can get a Sonny Gray. It'd be nice.
See how they smacked around those Yankees over the last couple of weeks?
Sure did.
Doing their thing.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I'm going to the game. Oh no, I'm not going to. I went to a game last week. I'm not going again until like August 27th, so I got time.
Even though we have the most overpaid player in the league, too. Vladdy's the most overpaid guy in the league. He's so overpaid. Ridiculous. He's
overpaid?
So overpaid. He's getting like 40.
Maybe this year, but like no, I feel like he's been worth the past couple years.
Vladdy was supposed to be a 40, 50 home run guy.
He was.
Right?
He was. Yeah.
And he's giving us the OPS. He's a contact hitter right now. He doesn't run the bases well. His defense is not great.
Oh, did you see him?
Defense is abysmal.
Did you see him get picked off at third yesterday? Oh, that was
bad. Like his base running, he doesn't do anything well except make contact with the baseball. And even that, he's not like super elite at that. He's good.
That's
other than that, like
pay him, and let him give it to his dad.
I mean, sure. Hey, I wish he hit like his dad.
His dad deserved that money, and they weren't paying players like
his
that.
arm, yeah. Too.
There it goes.
Ori, I don't know if you're doing any shows, but
I'm just trying to stay sane and stay upright. So I appreciate you guys having me on here as always. I mean, this is a lot of fun.
Throw down the full panel.
I'm just glad I was able to participate. So I just really appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, brother. All right, guys. We'll see you next week on.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.